think it'll be first pick Rengar for Akaadian or the Graves. And that's what I think. I was thinking TL, you can last ban the Rengar, and that's fine, but then that means Echo Fox probably take Graves, and you want Graves.
Right. You got to keep the Graves up and available for ReignOver. That performance from last game just pretty much dictates it. They're hovering over it right now. Not going to be surprised to see that locked in at all. Akaadian did take Rengar first. Jhin also going to be hovered by Team Liquid. They decided to lock that one in instead of the Graves.
Yeah, I was thinking Jhin and Graves both here. If that's the way that they're going for their jungle, there you go.
Now, Renekton is still up, and remember to keep your eyes on this champion because that's one that we're talking a lot about, has done a lot in terms of this series for both teams when they won. They did it off the back of some Renekton performance.
Yeah, and it was even a kind of a blind pick for TL because they picked it thinking it was into the Camille. Camille gets flexed down to the bottom side, and so TL now have not as good of a matchup. And look at that, Looper just sweeps it up. Boom, Renekton picked up blind pick top laner.
Hey, if it worked in 2 games already, what's saying it's not going to work in a third one now? They also decided to grab the Ashe for themselves, so we're not going to see one of these teams relegated to a lower tier AD carry in the Ezreal this time around. Instead, it's going to be Varus banned away, and the other top 2 AD carries picked, one for each side, obviously.
Yep, see that's Nautilus here apparently is the answer, so they're going with a tank that scales and can actually go kind of head-to-head against the Renekton.
Yep, and up through week 6, day 2, he did have a 36% pick rate, 13% ban rate, but a 61% win rate. So Nautilus does result in quite a few wins.
Yeah, he's been getting a little bit better and better too because of the nerfs to Maokai. Maokai was the top lane tank that most people would go towards, and it seems like the Nautilus is instead the one that people are gravitating towards now with all the CC he has in his kit, but also the E. Just so powerful at getting you priority in the lane, and the fact that Maokai's main wave clear tool and pressure tool, the Q, at an increased mana cost means can't do it for as long as Nautilus can now.
Going into Phase 2, we're going to see similar focuses to what we saw in Phase 2 of the picks and bans in games number 1 and 2, with support being focused by Echo Fox, mid lane being focused by Team Liquid. It's going to be Thresh and Ahri taken out first and foremost, but the Karma going to be banned away by Liquid means Matt will not be on that one this game.
And they banned it away even though they were able to possibly pick it themselves there.
Which means they have to have a different plan going into this 4th pick. Not wanting to give that one away to Echo Fox. Syndra will be the answer. After Piglet's ability to just delete people in the last game, they don't want to deal with that one 2 games in a row.
Cassiopeia is still on the table. This may be Echo Fox going for Orianna because then the counter would be, or it would be a counter to Cassiopeia, so you could pick it blind. If TL see this coming, maybe they pick Orianna for themselves here, but we'll see.
Looks like it's going to be Tahm Kench instead. We talked yesterday a little bit about with the Rengar into Jhin matchup, how dangerous it can be for the Jhin, one of the only champions in the game that roots himself with not 1 but 2 different abilities.
Yeah.
So somebody like Rengar who's looking to close in on a poor helpless AD carry kind of has his dream lined up in front of him there with the Jhin doing it.
But we also saw Youngbin and Matt struggle in a double range lane against a support that's melee. And now they have the melee support themselves, so they could pick something. I guess they'll opt into a melee versus melee support matchup here.
Okay.
And I think Orianna actually fits this pretty well. Blind pickable. Maybe Froggen goes for the Anivia. Could be Twisted Fate too. He loves that champion.
Yeah, he's got both of his...
I think ball combo is just too good to pass
pocket
up.
picks available.
Yeah, and you gotta suspect that he'll pick Cassiopeia.
You can see him talking with the team. Froggen just trying to think about what he wants to do here. What's it gonna be? All right, Viktor gonna be showing up this game. A lot of wave clear, a lot of burst and AoE.
Okay, and so for TL, what does that mean for Piglet here? He's played the Cassiopeia, and I assumed that was what he would go for. He had such a good showing on it, and they need high magic damage in this composition, especially since they don't have that same type of top lane carry that they had last time. And it will be the Orianna here for Piglet. Okay.
All right. Piglet's going to be working the Orianna this game. It's the final pick for Team Liquid, the final pick of the draft going here into game number 3 to decide which one of these 2 teams is going to be walking away with the win. And you know it means so much to both of them. Like you already mentioned, like we already talked about, this could be a 2-0 for Team Liquid if they manage to win this one on this week with their first new instance of the roster, I guess I should say. Or for Echo Fox, they don't want to be walking away with 2 back-to-back 0-2 weeks. They want this win.
Yeah, back-to-back 0-2 weeks, giving them a 4-match streak of losses here. Echo Fox.
Real bad.
They were on the upswing. People were hyping these guys up. Akaadian looked like a monster and that this team was starting to get things together. And now, well, they took a loss to Cloud9, which isn't completely unexpected.
Right, Cloud9, very strong team right now.
Yeah, but Echo Fox, they want to be a playoff team. These guys are here to deliver, here to play. Akaadian doesn't want to be a scared jungler. She's going to keep going aggressive. But it's not working out for them so far in the last 3 matches. The whole team hasn't been on the same page. This is the game for all the marbles.
Yeah, this is the one where Echo Fox kind of has to take the misplays from the last time around, those botched fights around the 30-minute mark, the comeback from Team Liquid, make sure that they take the lessons from that experience and walk away with them, realize what they have to fix, but at the same time, don't dwell on the experience itself. Don't dwell on, we messed up, we threw the game, we should have had the win, this series should be over, we should be going home right now. Yeah, but we're not.
If you make a mistake and then you think about the mistake, you're making 2.
Right. You make the mistake, you think about the lessons from the mistake, then you're going to be solid, then you're going to make it less in the future, and that's where Echo Fox needs to be mentally going into this game to make sure that they're not just going to put themselves at a disadvantage running off the Summoner platform. But they are running off that Summoner platform right now. Their opponent's going to be doing the same. We're on to Summoner's Rift for the final match of this best-of-3 series, the decider of everything as the teams fan out and take their places across the river.
Yep. Echo Fox, the Viktor mid for Froggen, was expecting the Orianna here to go alongside the Rengar and have the ball combination, but it's not that. He's going for the wave clear to roam, and also Deathfire Touch for it. And we've seen Deathfire Touch Viktor a little bit more now. The trading pattern and the single target ability of Q actually gives it a very high value, and the fact that it has that AP ratio on it, and Viktor has a naturally high AP due to his Hex Core, makes it a very good mastery for the Viktor. The Thunderlord's a little bit more bursty, but also, that's if you're trading more frequently, Deathfire Touch is better.
Yeah, it's just got so many different synergies, like you listed off.
Yeah.
So many different ways that it ends up working out very favorably for the champion.
Yeah, if you're only walking up and hitting somebody with an E and a Q combo every few seconds, we're talking like 20 to 30 seconds, then Thunderlords is your jam. But if you're just constantly queuing and auto-attack trading, which you should be on Viktor, the Deathfire Touch will give you a little bit more value.
Yeah, 24/7 harass. Go for the thing that doesn't have the cooldown.
What? Okay. I was like, where is Looper going? Looper awarded the red buff to see if that's what's going next for ReignOver.
Looks like the answer for that is going to be yes, so some good information will be discovered there to just keep track of this guy as he moves through his jungle. Want to make sure that they keep a bit better of an eye on him this time around if they can. Gate trying to jump in here onto Youngbin and Matt. Youngbin and Keith both going to be taking a little bit of damage in those trades, and it will be fun to see, like you mentioned earlier, this is the first time we're going to get to see melee versus melee in these matchups here today, so to see how the outplays end up working around. Matt's able to get his icky tongue onto Keith and slow him down a little bit there, but not really any follow-up considering everybody's still level 1.
Yeah, went forward because Gate went over to the blue buff to ward it to see ReignOver. So TL have been spotted out, and Echo Fox have full knowledge of ReignOver.
ReignOver grabbing the blue, no problem really there. Has to go back for the extra auto attack, accidentally left it at 1 HP. This Froggen and Piglet pretty much even here in the mid lane in terms of where they're at in terms of health and mana, but Piglet's down by quite a lot of CS.
Yeah, he's actually missing CS and getting zoned off by Froggen. He missed 2 there, a 3rd as well. So he's actually decently behind. Froggen.
Yeah, that ball was not now finding the mark. Froggen's like, nope, this is my farm.
Yep. He's going to burn him with Deathfire Touch after every trade. And once the cannon, he's going to miss it. This is too early of an auto attack. He only had that opportunity to really weave one in, but if he waits an extra second, he was trying to dodge the E because he knew it was coming out, but he only had that small window.
I was looking at that at first when it was like 12-4 and thinking, oh yeah, Froggen's got a few more extra creeps, Piglet will farm those up, it'll equalize sort of, but 19-7 is this really different.
Yeah, ReignOver is actually like looking mid, camping mid, but then they're actually invading his jungle here. Both Katie and Looper walking through like, where is he? He's supposed to be here.
Nope, he's just hanging around mid too much, so Akaadian's saying, all right, if you just want to sit around mid, try to help your mid laner CS properly, I'll try to take these Krugs away.
Caught him
Akaadian's
again.
going to be found out by Lourlo. Akaadian trying to get himself away, going to be beaten down. Got to be careful about this one. Looper trying to jump in, make the fight happen, get his buddy away if he can manage to do it. Both Fox
ReignOver
players so incredibly low. ReignOver looking to come in. First blood, bullets to the back.
Completely out of sync for Akaadian and Looper. Looper did not have priority on the wave, still level 3, and Lourlo level 4 able to actually just push up and went in. And Lourlo is actually really good about defending Krugs. It's the way that he got the flash out of Akaadian in game 1. And it's actually just so interesting to watch because he'll shove, and then even when he's getting shoved in, he will help his jungler. He's just a big team player there. And you can see hit level 4, Looper's still 3, and then he goes to the Krugs, finds Akaadian there, stops him from finishing them off, and he actually didn't really have vision of this happening. He's checking this because of the way that people are playing. There's no wards in that area. That I think the last time that he had spotted Akaadian was maybe around mid lane, and maybe ReignOver got a small look at him when he was trying to go for mid.
Very good response for Team Liquid against the aggro from Fox, trying to steal away some of those camps. I mean, I guess Akaadian did get some of the Krugs, but it wasn't really worth it. Matt going to be stunned up as he saves Youngbin from Gate's aggression. Going to be sidestepping away from the deadly flourish too.
Yeah, Gate also didn't get a heal off of his tactical sweep because Matt ran straight at him. You only heal off tactical sweep on the outer ring, not the inner.
So if you know you can't get out of it at all, you might as well just kind of bite the bullet, take the lower amount of damage, don't give him the heal.
Yeah, it actually only deals a small amount of physical damage, and the percent HP and the heal are all on the outside.
So in other words, just
and
walk straight into it.
Yeah, basically, Camille only slows you, deals percent HP damage, and heals for it if you're on the outer half of it. If you're right in front of her, you get hit for like 65 physical damage.
Not really a big deal. She'd be better off auto-attacking you at that point, Akaadian.
Then you run into her, and she Qs you and chases you down, and Qs you again. It's a nightmare, so don't always run into
Camille. Don't take this as absolute advice. I know some of you guys in Twitch chat would do that, so...
What they said
when you do, you're not allowed to blame me. Gate and Keith, again, looking for opportunities to go onto Youngbin and Matt. Not going to be turning some focus fire onto Matt himself. It doesn't result in a whole lot going down just yet. A small CS advantage for Keith down here in the bottom lane.
Talk about CS advantage, though. Mid lane.
Oh, my lord. 57-24. Froggen showing absolutely no mercy.
Yeah, more than doubled Piglet's CS right now. It's pretty disgusting.
This is a really, really strange situation.
Yeah.
I didn't think the Viktor Orianna matchup was this bad.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that bad, but also the Deathfire Touch adds a new spin to it where every bit of harass, the Q is single target, so it actually is the full duration of Deathfire Touch. And so you actually get a lot of damage from it. And it's a great harass pattern. So Piglet may have messed up early and something happened that we didn't see. He's just missing CS left and right as well.
Gate getting himself
What are you
slapped around
doing?
by Matt, who wants to devour, does get it. Youngbin doesn't have Deadly Flourish available. Gate's going to be exhausted. Heal comes out, still looking to keep that support alive if he can. Keith now going to be chasing down Youngbin. Focus fire coming through. The heal used to keep Youngbin alive, barely getting himself away. Gate afraid to jump in, and wisely so. That was almost bad for both sides.
Yeah, that was like a what is going on? Even the W from Youngbin, if Matt had just been able to eat him first, then throw him out into a W, maybe that's the kill there because that's that extra little bit of damage you need onto Gate. The Summoner Spell trades of both heals and both exhausts. Oh my god, this mid lane matchup. Let's go back to that because this is where the game is actually...
Yeah, this is getting honestly pretty crazy. And for those of you who might have missed it, the fan vote that came up on the bottom of the screen there, 69% believe that Team Liquid is going to be walking away with the win here, but sadly 69 is a much bigger number than Piglet's CS right now, and that's something that's being a real problem.
Damn.
It's not harsh if it's true, Zirene.
It is sometimes.
Well,
it can still be harsh and true.
it can still be harsh and true. It's called tough love.
There you go.
And sometimes the kids need it.
Piglet, I mean, he's getting there. He's picking it up. Dark Seal for himself. It could pay off in the future, but Negatron Cloak immediately to stop himself from just getting completely bullied in this lane.
And he doesn't get the blue. Oh, ReignOver ends up getting it instead with the red buff.
We were talking about how Piglet, you know, when he's happy, he's good. This is a little bit on the opposite.
This is not a happy Piglet.
No, not a happy piggy at all.
Maybe it was just more tough love from ReignOver. Maybe he said, nope,
yeah,
you don't get the blue buff until you catch up.
Learn how to work.
It's time for you to learn some farming.
I carried last game, but we'll see. I mean, he's usually really good about just handing those buffs off, so that was just a mistake, and Piglet ends up not with the blue buff, and also against a Viktor that's almost twice his CS.
Yeah, even though Liquid is the team that has the first blood, they're the team, with the assist money on it, by the way, they're the team that's almost behind 800 gold.
If that whole lead is actually just the amount of value that he's ahead in the mid lane. It's about 800.
I don't doubt it at all.
Yep.
Looper using the dominance in the top side to trade very aggressively onto Lourlo, forcing him away, building his own CS advantage up. It's not as big as the one that you're seeing demonstrated there in mid lane, but it's still pretty impressive, 80 compared to 60. And even an 86 to 77 advantage there in the bottom lane. Curtain call going to be used. Keith might be in some trouble here. Gate looking to keep him away from danger. Blocks one of the curtain call shots to keep the slow off of Keith, and then jumps himself away with the hook shot. Very well played.
Yeah, just trying to get pressure here. Froggen, though, let's talk about his CS for a moment, too, because it's not just the fact that he's doubling Piglet's CS, or was in the past. Of course, the numbers get higher, it gets harder to do so. He's at 100 at 10 minutes, so he's CSing incredibly well and really not missing anything.
Yeah, breaking 101 when the next closest person is your own AD carry at 87. Just shows that Froggen's having a great time farming up so far this game. Now going to be rotating topside, looking to help Looper push this turret, and Akaadian's coming up to help these guys too. This is Echo Fox looking for turret first blood if they might be able to find it. Lourlo trying to go in, but the turret has already been taken down. He makes a mistake, overcommits himself. Now Akaadian going to be looking for the damage. He grabs it. ReignOver forced back. The Chaos Storm still ticking. Piglet putting himself in a really rough spot now. Gate just continuing to stick to him. Now having to get himself out of danger. Flashes over the wall. The Shockwave going to be forcing that one out, but Echo Fox gets not only the turret they came for, but a kill to go with it.
Yep, and they don't lose much in return either. More flashes and summoner spells actually used from the side of TL. Only Gates was used, whereas Piglet, both sums, ReignOver, Flash, and Lourlo blowing his flash as well. So there's a lot of repeat opportunities here for Akaadian when his ultimate comes back up.
You know what we're seeing now too? Infernal Drake. Again, now the first turret is down. Everybody can start killing each other for it.
Yep, and, well, I don't think TL will actually try to contest it here. Piglet is a large part of that actual team fight, and he doesn't have anywhere close to the level or gold necessary to be impactful here with that Shockwave. You see, it's kind of tickles the support right now.
Froggen continuing to zone Piglet away from the farm, still maintaining roughly double his opponent's CS, even after all this time. 121 compared to 65, 66, 69. There we go. He hit the fan vote.
What is it with you and this number?
ReignOver farming up the Scuttle Crab in the bottom side river, maintaining some extra control over the Dragon Pit. You got pings coming out now from Fox onto that area.
And I was expecting the Orianna for Froggen, like I said earlier, and Piglet to play like the Cassiopeia because he had played it and had done well on it. But the Orianna looks like it's a little offsuit here. And the fact that the Viktor is into it, I don't think either of those are really particularly bad matchups into Viktor, or they shouldn't be.
Yeah, I've never really seen that as something that's like, oh, this is a hard counter. You're going to get completely shut out of the farm.
I know the range is interesting between the two when it's Orianna versus Viktor, because Orianna's ball range pretty good, and she likes to auto-attack trade, but that's usually a large part of her early trading pattern is the shield into the clockwork windup. But Viktor with Deathfire Touch gets a shield, Q, and a good auto-attack to trade back. So he wins the trades early, but I think Piglet may have taken some trades and ended up getting completely zoned from the wave because he wasn't completely familiar with the matchup, and maybe Deathfire Touch as well. Because that has been a recent change as well, a recent shift for a lot of Viktors.
Fox now shifting their attention over towards this Drake Pit. They got Keith, Akaadian, and Gate all hanging around. They're going to do it on top of a ward, but it does not matter. The Deadly Flourish will not successfully steal that away from somebody who's got Smite. Akaadian's up and ready to secure that. Bonus AD and AP going over to these guys. And we mentioned it in game number 1 where the Infernal Drake was also the first dragon. But when you got somebody like Renekton, one of these top laners whose main goal is actually damage over control, the Infernal is that much more effective.
Yeah, it doesn't build full damage, but the damage early definitely gets amplified, and it feels really good. that feel when your mid laner has as much CS as the enemy jungler. It's pretty bad. He was sitting at 83. So was Akaadian.
But now he's got the wave. So he's up to 89, which means he cleared out the whole wave. So the trend is improving.
Yeah, gap is not as wide anymore.
Youngbin now still falling further and further behind his own opponent. See, as Piglet is starting to shore up his farming weaknesses, the discrepancy between the top and bottom laners is becoming greater and greater. You've now got a 30 lead for Looper over Lourlo. You've now got a 20-something lead for Keith over Youngbin.
Yeah, and I think Froggen is like starting to milk this too, because he's actually stealing the Raptors now of the enemy. So he went in, just lasers it once, kills almost all of them, and hold on, Akaadian. They know they're getting ganked bottom. Youngbin's walking forward here. He's trying to clear out the wave and just wants the turret.
Yep, Akaadian just deciding to put that attention onto the objective, go for that instead.
Curtain call
to be opened up. Akaadian forced to flash. Keith wants to block that fourth shot, make sure he keeps Akaadian alive. ReignOver looking to work his way now into the fight. How do they disengage this one safely? Deadly Flourish finding its way onto Akaadian. Red turret destroyed. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, TP going to be channeled, but not finding anything, and everybody from Echo Fox walks away.
Yep, Froggen owning the mid lane, 165 CS, and just trashing that turret. Now he's going after that mid tier 2, and now Piglet's going to have to walk up by himself. They're looking for a play here. Abyssal Voyage.
Abyssal Voyage takes ReignOver in the back line, looking to make some kind of a move. Youngbin might get brought down with him, but he will not. Gate getting himself away, but Keith is the one who ultimately dies for this, as Team Liquid now has 3 people bottom to take that turret.
This is really good from Froggen. He went mid, and then Piglet has to stay there and clear out the wave. He's desperate for CS. So Froggen goes top and gets a ton of damage on this turret here. He's got one more minion on it. That's enough to finish it.
Yeah, they're actually going to get the tier 2 top at the same time their opponents get the tier 1 bottom.
Yeah, and that's going to be a 3 turret to 1 lead for Echo Fox there. They're doing really well here. This is stemming from mid lane. In Froggen, we talked about sometimes you get mid lane advantages and he wouldn't spill it over into other lanes. And that's exactly what's happening here is we see him go top, we see him roam. And that was a criticism of him in the early part of the split was, man, this guy only roams when he's playing Twisted Fate. And now we're seeing him actually get out of the lane by his little legs, no TP, nothing like that. Yeah, the good Abyssal Voyage follow-up from Matt to dive in, and he brought the right person, ReignOver, in. But Camille gets out, Gate gets to safety, and they only pick up Keith.
And this is a 4,000 gold advantage 16 minutes into the match. That's quite a lot for this point in time. Fox has got to be feeling pretty good about it, thinking that they can make more aggressive plays, especially with these turrets down now. The first one in mid lane, the first 2 in top lane. You can get deeper into enemy territory, especially in that northern jungle, set down some wards and bait some traps.
Yeah, the bottom lane, they'll be able to crack that really soon. They could actually just walk up to it if they wanted to, and if there was nobody from TL defending it. So Piglet is now in the bottom side, not going to have to deal with Froggen for a little bit longer. Ooh, cannon minion.
That cannon minion, indeed. Piglet at least
but
now.
Like, the thing is, he has no pressure on him during those types of CS plays, right?
Right.
When you go into like a custom game and you start CSing and you're just practicing.
It's literally just you hitting the minion.
Yeah, you try to get 100 by 10 minutes. Exactly what Froggen did. It was kind of like he was playing against nobody in the mid lane, had absolute pressure. And in the bottom side, it just feels like Piglet might be a little bit tilted by the fact that he is so behind, that he is not having that great of a game so far.
The tilt is causing him to fall that much further behind now, as the Abyssal Voyage is going to be channeled by Matt just to make sure that Looper doesn't do anything there onto ReignOver. Piglet does now have his Abyssal Scepter completed, though. So despite the fact that he's very far behind in terms of economy, he still hits the first completed item. So that's going to help him out a little bit. He'll resist the damage not only from the Viktor, but also the AoE damage from the Renekton ult, I guess.
I don't like it.
Not a fan.
I really don't like it at all.
Not a fan.
He bought the Negatron Cloak, which is something that people have done in the past, but he also bought a Dark Seal, and he doesn't have like Boots 2 or anything yet. It has CDR, has AP, but it's not going to increase anybody on his team's magic damage, really.
It'll help the Nautilus a little bit.
Yeah, it'll help the Nautilus, but they're mostly physical damage here, aside from himself.
Youngbin might be in some trouble. Matt going to be looking to gobble him up. Hextech ultimatum is canceled. Lourlo going to be the target. Looper's taken low, though. Got to be careful about chasing this one any closer to that tier 2. The ball is placed onto Lourlo. The flash away to keep Fox safe. Echo Fox goes for something there, but it ends up just a little bit too crazy.
Yep. If you hold the person for long enough, like I had said earlier about Camille and Tahm Kench, then you let them go. Don't let them go earlier. They snap back, and ReignOver gets exhausted.
ReignOver going a little bit too close, going to be exhausted. The damage coming through, but Matt with yet another save. Looper looking to make the moves if he can. Grabs the kill onto ReignOver. The Croc is on the loose yet again.
Yep, Froggen ends up getting that kill for himself, but Looper into that backline, and this Renekton, we talked about it, he's just, this champion seems to be a bit different now in terms of priority. Maybe the tanks can't punish him enough with all the nerfs that have happened to him. The Black Cleaver shift in power, and also the fact that Fervor got buffed, and the buffs that Renekton has had seems to be rather dominant, and it's working out.
Absolutely. Have those blue flags always been on the side of the base wall?
Yes.
I just now noticed those for some reason.
Yep.
That's something that always just slipped under my radar until just now. I was like, wait a second, this is a pretty cool flag.
They also say North American LCS on them.
I mean, I know, that's what I was saying. Those are customized for NALCS. That's freaking cool. I didn't even know those were always there. It's one of those things that was just like, this isn't a champion killing another champion or a turret. I'm not paying any attention to it.
Nope. Sometimes they're, you know,
play-by-play priority.
Teams, logos, and stuff like that in the past. Change it up every now and then. Change it up.
Echo Fox having to try to escape this one, getting away from the curtain call before the 4th shot would be coming out. Grabs the Drake on their way. It's going to be 2 Drakes to 0 for them. That Ocean giving them some bonus regeneration as they continue to try to press advantages throughout this game.
Akaadian going to ulti for the movement speed, get away, and make sure nothing happens. So Echo Fox don't lose anybody or anything so far. Mid lane will go a bit over. The other side of ReignOver. Ooh, he eat forward.
ReignOver putting himself in a bit of a tough spot. Akaadian grabs the red and just walks away. He got what he came for.
Yep. Was looking for a kill there, but it is a tanky Graves. He has the Ninja Tabi. Ends up taking so much damage for him. He's also on his way to Black Cleaver. ReignOver gets exhausted there. Can't finish the kills. Swallowed up. Spat out right into Loopers. Right into his mouth. Gets blown up there by Froggen. Ends up taking the kill.
And when you see a game like this that's 2-2, you wouldn't normally expect it to be almost 6,000 gold apart. But the CS and the turret differences between these two teams are just so huge that Liquid could be 10 kills ahead, and they would still be behind.
This is where like Liquid are just losing the game, and there really isn't anything going for them at all. Is scaling even in their favor? Not in particular. And CS across the board, they've lost turrets in every lane. Every lane actually just kind of lost. And ReignOver is kind of the saving grace right now, and that's it. Aside from that, not really anything too much going for him.
Froggen's 15 CS away from the Flame Horizon at 21 minutes.
It's funny because the Flame Horizon was originally a term for Flame when you would get 100 CS up over a lane opponent in lane. So it was during the lane phase. And then when you got out of the lane phase, it's just a term that started making more sense.
It's like a term that adapted.
Exactly.
It's
up
just
to 100. Because it didn't happen very often where somebody would Flame Horizon somebody in lane. And then it was just a term that you're just like, oh yeah, you know,
it's
100 CS
cool
up.
Phrase. You don't want to lose it because it's so rare.
Yeah.
So you're like, we're just going to adapt this and make it mean 100 CS.
But he's almost at that point.
ReignOver now jumped on. Matt trying to keep him safe. Gate needs to... Nope. Can't keep him around. Hextech Ultimatum fades away just a little bit too quick.
Froggen needs one more. The ward counts, but
nope.
He got 2.
Piglet's managing to still keep him going.
It's the push and pull. Who will hit it first? Will he catch up?
Will he catch up, or will Piglet finally get himself away from the danger?
Find out next time on NALCS. The rest of the game, though.
No, don't really find out next time. It's going to be happening.
Yeah, find out right now. Right now. See, that's the thing. When you wait for the next episode to come out, you don't have to wait.
Nope. Next episode right now. 257.
It's like you're binge watching.
Yeah. That's honestly one of the best things to do. You watch the whole show. That's one of the best feelings when you find a really good show that you've never actually seen before, only to find out that it actually came out about 10 years ago, and you can just watch the whole thing without having to go by that week-to-week hustle.
And then then you pick up something from like 10 years ago, and it's still not finished, and you're like, Berserk, what's going on, man?
So what is this?
Come on! When is the next release? Oh, he knows what's up.
Yeah. We got the audience on our side today. Echo Fox deciding they're going to be going for Baron. It's blind to their opponents. Liquid has no idea what's going on here. A single control ward over the wall for Echo Fox. Nothing past that for Liquid. As all of a sudden, now they're realizing something might be up. Matt makes the Abyssal Voyage, going to be dropping the ward over the wall. Piglet comes in and sees this. Froggen looking to make some damage happen. Looper goes over the wall as well. Going to be using the Dominus, zoning 2 away. Arrow's not going to find anyone. Akaadian looking to make the jump if he can onto ReignOver and Youngbin. still trying to chase ReignOver down even further, manages to grab the kill for himself. Now gonna be looking for even more, maybe an escape route onto Piglet, nearly bringing him down, but Youngbin's able to find that kill. The laser over the wall, and Froggen snipes him down. Youngbin gonna be killed next. Keith taken low and does fall. Lourlo's able to grab 2. Froggen still chasing him down, but decides to back off now, head back towards the other way. Looper still near full HP by the end of the fight.
And that's actually pretty good for Team Liquid because they go 3-3, but Fox still have superior positioning on the map. It goes even, which means it's still them just getting a little bit further in the game.
3 for 3 is not a bad fight when you're 7K behind.
Man, and Piglet just is kind of banking on, he's putting the Q in the right place, and he's getting a good ulti. He went full penetration build here. He has the Haunting Guides, he has the Sork Shoes, and he has the Abyssal Scepter. So it's kind of like a selfish don't die build, but also he's just looking for that one shockwave, looking for that one play. He's not looking for cooldown reduction to replace the ball anywhere. He doesn't have a lost chapter. If he's out of mana, he's out of mana. Oh, almost kills Piglet there, but they pick him up, and then right there in Fog of War, Froggen ends up getting with the E. Piglet wants to be still involved in the fight. You can see stylistically some mid laners would just run away and start running towards their base, because that is Piglet's base right there. He could run into that base gate, but he still wants to be a part of it. Look at that, Froggen, disgusting amount of
4K damage in the last fight. Just huge in that one. But you talked about it. He felt like he was farming alone for the first part of the game, so he was able to build up this massive economy. He's able to be this huge threat that has a Lich Bane and an Abyssal Scepter and this big ol' Hex Core.
Yep. Man, Froggen did enough damage to kill both Piglet and Youngbin and then deal 1,000 more.
Just Froggen. No big deal. No big deal. Echo Fox with a 2-0 and 3 mid laner. Perfect kill participation. No deaths so far. 278 farm. Still 2 off of that Flame Horizon that we were talking about, though.
Yep, it's just eluding him and staying a little bit out of range, but Froggen, I mean, he's been a massive farmer, and people are like, oh, you know, the lane opponents just let him have it. It's like, he gets high farm because he's good at playing those matchups. ReignOver, though,
now he got the kill onto the enemy jungler. The arrow going to be sidestep. Youngbin and Matt trying to get themselves out of this one. Looper priming that stun on the auto attack, able to find it. Froggen going to be brought low. Lourlo trying to take him down if he can, but Akaadian is running interference, blocks the dredge line. And that brings down the Nautilus. 3 for 0, Fox.
Wow, ReignOver actually got wrecked there. He got Camille ultied and he E'd at the same time, so he's over the wall, and he's actually pinched between the Camille ulti and the wall, and so Froggen ultis him, and he just has to stand there and kind of just take it.
Just be like, well, I guess this is my life now.
Yep.
Stuck between a wall and a Hextech ultimatum.
Nope.
Gate just zoning Piglet away from this one. Going to be sidestepping the Deadly Flourish as well.
There too.
Fox won't really be contested at all going for this, and Piglet tries to get himself back, but instead he's punching a one-way ticket to the spawn platform, but not in the way he wanted to. Yep. He'll be back 37 seconds from now, but that's 37 seconds that Froggen and the rest of Echo Fox have to use this Baron and push.
Yeah, this right here. In. Slides. Oh, God. Yeah, he can't get away. His ulti won't help him, nothing like that. And so Froggen ends up just killing him. Froggen's playing Fog of War pretty well here. And Lourlo comes through, gets the E off. Almost, but doesn't quite get him. And then Lourlo gets picked up in return. Akaadian, great peel there, and the minion wave also doing a little bit of blocking there on the Nautilus with the big model.
Yeah, Akaadian did a perfect job staying between the two, because there was actually a Nautilus dredge line that would have found its way onto Froggen for the kill if Akaadian's big Rengar body wasn't there.
And then the minions got in the way, you know. Unlucky for the Nautilus. He is a plus-size model, I would say.
Big, beautiful Nautilus.
Yeah.
But one thing that's not big and beautiful are Team Liquid's propositions right now, as they are currently 11,000 gold down. 4 kills down, 4 turrets down, 3 Drakes down.
They're just down.
If I was
now.
casting with anybody else, I would say that no matter how you want to measure this game, it's always going to be an Echo Fox win, but you would find something ridiculous.
I don't think I could.
Number of cooldown boots on your AD carry.
Oh, yeah.
Liquid's winning through that one, but now the fight's going to be breaking out. Froggen going to be bursted down. Still being kept alive somehow. Redemption still going to be healing him up. The arrow comes through. Matt's going to be in trouble. Youngbin falls first. Matt's going to be going down second. Make it Piglet third. Make it ReignOver fourth. Make it Lourlo fifth. That's your clean ace, ladies and gentlemen. Echo Fox looking to make this a quick game 3.
Yep, out of the GA. Last kill goes over to Froggen. That's going to be the game.
That's all she wrote. 28 minutes in.
15,000 gold up. And
the Flame Horizon.
Hey, he did it in the end.
He made it happen at the end of the day. Echo Fox, a very convincing game number 3 win.
Domination from the mid lane there. Froggen takes down mid.
What a monster. What an absolute monster this game. You cannot say the man did not put the team on his back and carry him straight to the winner's
Look,
circle.
he ended up over 100 CS, 606, and 4 levels up. He's like, you come into my lane?
This is my house. You're just allowed to live in my living room. For now.
Seems really close to somebody's life.
Say that art imitates life, right? That's the best way to make the cast hit home.
That's true. But
either way, it was a huge performance from him. And that's not to say the rest of the team was just dead weight either. Look at the scorelines. 4-1-4 on Akaadian, 1-1-7 on Looper, 3-2-3 on Keith, Gate 0-1-9. Everybody worked together to make a very coherent and very effective fight.
Yeah. Froggen, though, definitely man of the hour on that one, because that was a game that, the half hour, dude. It was 28 minutes and 46 seconds. Man of the half hour, because he dominated right off the bat. It was a CS advantage from the second wave, the first wave even, and then he just started crushing Piglet from there. Piglet could not recover in the game, bought a Negatron Cloak, bought an Abyssal Scepter, doesn't have CDR, doesn't have Mana Regen, doesn't have ways to zone people off as much, and doesn't have the Myrlonomicon or anything like that. So it's a burst build. It's focused at trying to get back into the game, but the rest of it was Froggen rotating. He went to top side to kill Lourlo. He went to bottom side to help out, and so that is what helped them snowball so hard, was that first central part of the map, which Echo Fox has had a strong mid laner for the entire time. They're just now unlocking him.
And when you can take that advantage and translate it to so many different places and say, hey, I'm ahead, you're ahead.
Hey.
That just makes the game so much faster. It makes everything so much cleaner. It just puts you in a spot where the game becomes simple. And that was a great job.
Yeah, and it ends up being Echo Fox's first 1-1 week. No 2-0, no 0-2, anything like that. Their first 1-1 of the split. And so Echo Fox, they'll be a little bit happier than if it was another 0-2 slide, because this team, I know Akaadian is definitely a jungler that, he'll beat himself up after 0-2s or after 2-0s. It ends up being like one where he's like, okay, I need to be humbled a little bit here. So 1-1 seems to be a little bit of, you'd want better, but it seems to be something that Echo Fox can work with coming into the next week.
And it stops the downward slide. It stops it from going into a 4-series loss streak. It stops it from being that what's happening to us when everybody thought we had all this momentum and now everything's just going straight to hell. We're coming back.
Yep.
And that's what Echo Fox is sitting at right now. They can look at this as a positive experience, look at this as a win for themselves, and say, look, how do we keep building on this? How do we keep improving on this?
Yeah, because they lost to Cloud9, which is something that, well, they were number 1. They're still in that first place spot around right now, and so we'll see what happens, because that's kind of a loss that you're expected to take. If you upset, then it's great. But Echo Fox, all things considered, when they walk away from this week, performed the way that you would expect them to perform, given the teams that they've beaten, and also the way they were looking.
But now we've also kind of got to take a look at the other side of things with Team Liquid. Team Liquid is going to have to improve some things, because we talked about how it would be really cool to see the whole 2-0 week starting off for Piglet on his first week as mid lane. And although he had some impressive games, especially that last one, was one where he's demonstrated he's definitely got things to work on.
I will say, though, that loss is definitely going to be something they have to look at. That game in particular as well could be a bit of a wake-up call, because Piglet, I know he was feeling really good about the mid lane transition. I know that he was feeling really confident. So you learn a lot from your losses. You learn what happened there in that mid lane. What is that matchup? So now he's going to look at that matchup, know a little bit more about it, and that's what they're talking about, is their success, their improvement is really what they're looking for here on TL.
And as the teams take off to talk about what they thought about the series, it's now our time to check in with Pastry Time, who's going to be side stage with the Echo Fox support.
Thank you very much. I'm here with